Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Yes, D-Day is nearly upon us now as we look at the WTF1 live subscriber count. As you can see, 1,070,000 subscribers at the moment. Now let's have a look at that with the YouTube stats and see how they're doing. Because at the moment you can see, if I just move myself out of the way, thank you very much. You can see that they're still losing 10k subscribers pretty much every single week. And for the last 30 days, they've lost 30k in subscribers. The weekly average is about 7k of losses. And about 1,000 people a day are unsubscribing from WTF1. But there is some good news on the horizon because they've actually flattened out the curve, as you can see here. From the sort of start of January, when the huge dip went down to 50,000 subscribers losses, they've only lost 40,000 subscribers for a little bit further into the month. So yes, you can see the curve is definitely flattening out. But the trouble with that is, if you're losing 40,000 subscribers and you're only gaining, I don't know, 5,000 subscribers, it's really not that much of a gain and really can't be sort of put into any context that WTF1 are turning a corner, because they definitely are not. Now, how long do you think it'll be before they get below the 1 million subscriber count? I think it'll be pretty soon, possibly somewhere in April. I think will be when they get down to below 1 million subscribers. Let's see if we can offset that now with, of course, their main rival at the moment, which is P1 with Matt and Tommy, currently at 311k subscribers. And just look at those graphs. Just look at those graphs. It has flattened off now, as you can see. Definitely flattened off with the subscriber count, which is to be expected. But look at the view count. I mean, this is just off the hook. Look, just up, flattens down for a little bit. Of course, the flattenings are when there's really nothing much to talk about in F1, which does happen. And then it sort of goes up to, look at that, nearly 2 million views. Nearly 2 million views between the 6th and the 12th of March. It's only last week, in fact. Only just last week. So, yeah, let's have a look now at their performances. They're gaining pretty much 5k subscribers every single day. 37 is the average, and for the last 30 days they've gained 159,000 subscribers. Now that's the kind of statistics you would like. Now unfortunately none of this is going to work because they are a pretty brand new channel, so there isn't many statistics that can be put on here. I can't wait to see this when it comes up though, but we'll have to wait, I think, until about the middle of next month before we actually get this graph working. But yeah, it's fascinating stuff, absolutely fascinating stuff. So let's now do a deep dive into WTF1, see what the problems are, and see if we can work out what they need to get this channel back on track again. So we start with Hannah Atkinson going from left to right. How much has she got to lose if WTF1 fails? Well, it has to be said, not a lot, to be honest, judging by all the simping that goes on her Instagram page. I think she'll still do pretty well, and if this doesn't work out for her, her attractiveness will definitely ensure that she won't be out of employment for very long whatsoever. So yeah, I think as far as Hannah's concerned, I don't think she's going to lose much if WTF1 does fail. Now, of course, we are looking for opinions about how well she's done so far, and I have to say it's been pretty appalling to watch, it has to be said. Her opinions are, well, you can see that there's no heritage or history to anything that she's actually saying. I mean, she actually said that she thought that Mercedes did very well in the first race in Bahrain. I've no idea what race she was actually watching, but it certainly wasn't the same one that I was. But yes, so yes, Hannah, I think it's not going to be too upset if this venture does indeed fail. So she will just go on and do something else all glamoury and pretty and everything else. So yeah, she's not going to be too upset if this doesn't work out to how she thought it was going to work out when she was first offered the job. We move on now to the second one, which is Andre Harrison. Now, of course, Andre Harrison, a name well known in the YouTube F1 community mostly. Then he sort of left it because he's getting a little bit fed up with the monopolising of some of the bigger channels. And so he sort of moved away a lot to MotoGP, as to be said, and sports in America as well, IndyCar, NASCAR and all that. So it was a little bit surprising for me to see that he came back into the F1 fold, considering that reporting about F1 has not been something that Andre has been doing for the last couple of years, because unfortunately he seemed to have pushed journalism to the side because he was working in a bookmakers for the last few years. So yeah, it was a very big surprise, but of course, you know, when a big channel comes knocking, you do take up the challenge. But I think out of all of the people of WTF1, Andre is the one with the most to lose. And personally, I think the best thing Andre can do right now is to leave, because he's hurting his career being associated with this brand now, and years down the line he's going to regret the decision that he made to join WTF1 without any shadow of a doubt, because he will be known as being a member of that channel that failed after the two main presenters left, and that stigma will follow him in anything he does in the future. So out of everyone, I think Andre is the one that should get out of Dodge now before the Titanic sinks to the bottom, which we know is going to happen. So that's Andre. We move on to Jack Nichols, who we only saw once in the internet's best reactions last week. And as to be said, as a lot of people said in the comments, it looked like someone was literally holding a gun to his head and asking him, or should I say shouting at him, to read off the auto cue. It was forced. It wasn't very good to look at. It looked cringy, and yeah, the fact that they, you know, basically carried on with the internet's best reaction, even though that was a Matt and Tommy creation, was a little bit too much for a lot of people to bear, as bore witness to the comments that were on that video. But yeah, Jack, I mean, a lot of people have said that he is a very good Formula E commentator. Unfortunately, I don't follow Formula E, so I've never actually heard him commentate. But, you know, if that's what people say, then that's fine. But also, they said to sort of counteract that he's not really a very good presenter, which does happen. You can be a very good commentator, but when it comes to presenting, that's a completely different kettle of fish. So yeah, because as a commentator, you're reacting to what's happening on the screen. As a presenter, you have to sort of wing it and come up with things yourself, which is a little bit different. And if you're just reading off an auto cue that's something else that someone else has prepared for you, your own personality doesn't come out whatsoever, unfortunately. So that's Jack. Now we move on to Kieran. Oh my God. What can we say? Out of everyone, I think Kieran should stay. He should stay, but he's got to sort his life out. He really has, because every time I watch him and listen to him, he sounds more like me. He's constantly putting himself down. He's constantly simping over Hannah Atkinson to a point where it's ridiculous. I mean, let me just show you her Instagram, and oh look, the first comment at the top here is from Syrian, as I call him, Kieran. It's just ridiculous. You pack it in, lad. You haven't got a chance. No one's got a chance. So just pack it in, because it's not going to work. It's not going to work whatsoever. But yeah, he's got to stop that completely, because that's ridiculous. And the constant sexual jokes that he puts in, they're just firing so far off the mark. It's unbelievable. It's just like, it's not working, Kieran. It's not working. But I do believe that he should stay there at WTF1, and he should be the driving force. But he just needs to tone it down a bit, and he needs to stop in every video talking about how much views they've lost, and because that's getting boring now. If you want views, make better videos. It's as simple as that. So that's for Kieran. He needs to stay, and he needs to I think he should be in charge of I don't know who is in charge of WTF1, but whoever is in charge, if you're watching this, it's not working. It's not working. And you need to put Kieran in charge of the channel, okay? But he needs to take a step down. He needs to calm himself down, sort himself out. I don't know, perhaps he needs to have a little bit of therapy or something, because I say the constant putting himself down, that's not what people want, Kieran, okay? You can do that in your own personal life if you want to, but when you're presenting something, you have to come across as completely assertive and assured of what you're doing, okay? So this constant putting yourself doesn't work. It does not work, okay? Like I say, if you want to do that in your personal life, do it. Doesn't make any difference. But you're presenting something on a big YouTube channel, so you should have all the confidence. You should be absolutely over the top with confidence. Just go and look at a Matt and Tommy video and you'll see what I mean. The confidence is right there. You never see them moaning about life issues or anything like that. And, you know, Kieran's been saying that, you know, that he's going to end up as a lonely old man. Just stop it now. It's not funny. No one wants to hear that. You're presenting something on WTF1. We need excitement, okay? And we need enthusiasm. And we need assertiveness. That's what we need. So there you go. That's my recommendation for Kieran. Now we go on to Charlie. Charlie, just like Andre, I think, is the person that's going to have the most to lose, because she does seem to be very serious and committed to the cause of, you know, sort of F1 and journalism. But she also, with this in mind, she needs to get out of Dodge now, and she needs to leave the sinking ship, because otherwise she also is going to be associated with a channel that is failing. And you do not want that black mark on your career. You do not want it. Okay, I'll tell you a little story now. I was unceremoniously sacked from a job that I previously had, and I ended up having to sue them, which is great. You know, you think, yeah, and I did win the case. But the trouble with that is, when you go on to future employment, that's a black mark on your record. And other future employers see that on your record, because you can't, unfortunately, get rid of it. And it's there that, you know, your former employer and, you know, you sued them. That's not good for you. So in Charlie's case, she needs to get out as well. And for God's sake, Charlie, don't do presenting. Don't present the video. No offence, but, you know, just don't do it. Just don't do it. You seem to have a really good skill at writing, because you write a lot of articles on the WTF1 website. That seems to be your niche. You should stick to that and just run with it. So yes, Charlie should stay, but if she just stays on the web page, then that should be fine. But yeah, so that's my thoughts and opinions on the current crew of WTF1 at the moment. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And what do you think of the videos that they have been producing of late? Have you just completely switched off, or do you find them great, or do you find them a little bit cringe, a lot like my videos? Anyway, thanks everyone. That was just a quick deep dive into WTF1. I'll catch you in the next video.